Hey guys, what's up? My name is Travis Monsot, and of course, you guys are tuned into my channel where, of course, we talk about tech and everything DJ. So, for the past two episodes, I have been churning out videos on how I actually DJ. And if you guys caught the first two, thank you very much for watching. So, just to recap again, episode 1, we talked about the way I DJ with my USBs as storage, which I plug into linked players, and that's all I bring to gigs. Episode 2, we took that one step further and talked about the ProLink feature, which of course swapped out that USB drive for my laptop using the Pioneer ProLink system with, of course, the 5-port switch. We are now going to talk about what you guys actually have been messaging me through the years, and this is the HID mode. Now, HID mode, or human interface device mode, is basically where Rekordbox, the software I use, we move to the performance mode now. Now, in the performance mode, basically, Rekordbox transforms into a Serato-like UI, meaning you are given two decks and a mixer inside. So in Rekordbox, you just switch from export to performance. Now, for this video, I will be using Rekordbox 5 as I have my previous licenses still applied to that software, whereas in Rekordbox 6, I am not currently subscribed to any subscription plan for now, because as you guys know, it's been a pandemic and I don't see the logic of paying for a subscription when the events and the gigs aren't as much yet. So eventually we'll get there, but for now, we will be using Rekordbox 5. So I have a 3-camera setup, one over here, one over there in front of the laptop so that it captures everything that I have going in the software, and of course one over here where you can see what I'll be doing on the actual player. So let's go into the HID setup and let me show you the cables that you will be using. Alright, so for the first cable that we will need, it's very simple. We will need a USB printer cable or a USB-A to USB-B port. Now the B port, again, that's why it's called the printer cable. It actually looks like this. This is the USB-B port. Alright, so in certain mixers, you can actually find a USB port. They have the capability to be used as HID devices. Now, we will need two more USB printer cables, or again, USB-A to USB-B. So for that, if you notice here, I have two black ones connected. Now, those two black cables, I will be putting into a hub. So like that. Now, why am I putting them into a hub? My laptop only has two USB-A ports, and if you're running an Apple device, you also probably have two USB-A ports. This is of course from the previous generation of laptops. But if you're running USB-C ports, then you will need a USB-C hub for this to work. Normally, USB-C hubs have 3 USB-A ports, so that will suffice when it comes to your setup. But for now, we will be using, of course, this USB-A hub, which has 2 USB ports for the players. Now, why do I want to put the players onto the USB hub? Normally, it comes with 3 ports. Actually, what these guys are putting out are MIDI signals or are MIDI data. The music or the audio signals will go in and out through this cable. Now, this mixer will have a heavier in and out. That's why I want it straight to the laptop. MIDI signals aren't as heavy as audio signals when it comes to the connection. That's why I can put the two together. Even if your hub is not as heavy duty as you would like, MIDI data will not be too heavy when it comes to the hub's use. Okay, so let me go and connect all the USBs to the laptop and show you how to set up HID mode. Alright, let's go. Okay guys, so here we are. We are in the Rekordbox UI, and you probably can see my reflection on the screen. And right as we plug in the mixer into the laptop, our little box or our settings utility appears here in front of the software. Okay, so now basically what you can see is it has a couple of tabs with a mixer input, a mixer output, an ASIO, and of course the about. So what I tell people is, first you have to fix this setup. So again, I am using the 2 and 3 channels. So let's go to mixer input and make sure that everything is on USB. You can switch, of course, to the USB mode on top of your channels. Your channels will have an input selector, and of course, mine are all on USB. Note that number 2, if I change the selector, and you will see there it changed to line. Now I'll change it back to USB in the flick of a switch, and that is again the mixer input. So for example, if I have 4 players, all of them go into the inputs per channel via CD and line. If I want to use the H.I.D mode, so I will switch channels 2 and 3 to USB, so it will represent my 2 decks when I hop on board. Now let's go to mixer output. Alright, so again, mixer output, we are using USB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, these are the lines, of course, being stereo. And right there, we have the CD and timeline connected. This means that, or the CDs are connected via RCA to the mixer inputs via the timeline. Now, to show you guys, if I drop down this option, you can also put in the other options that have here. You can also choose the other options, but right now I have mine on CD time code. On channel 1, there is a phono option if you want to use turntables. That will of course depend on the mixer that you have, but for this example we are using the CD line right there. All right, so let's go minimize this and let's go back into the UI. Okay, so now, once we are in the UI, let's go to our settings. And of course, let's go to audio. Okay, so right now, we have to choose audio. Of course, we have to choose the Pioneer DJM 750 ASIO option. And as we scroll down, of course, it being a 4-channel mixer, I have to rearrange the inputs and the outputs because again, I only want to use channels 2 and 3 when it comes to performing. So if I have a 4-channel mixer and I want to use my current setup, input decks will be like this. Of course, channel 1, right, will have 2 and then 3, and then input deck 3 will be on channel 1 and then 4. So this is my current setup using the middle 2 channels as my current DJing preference. All right, again, a 2-3-1-4 setup, meaning if I have a 4-deck setup, I'll only be using the 2 players near the mixer right there. So again, we will do the same with the output setup, 2, 3, and 1, 4. Okay, so again, inputs are going to be made into 2, 3, 1, 4, and outputs are going to be made again into 2, 3, and 1, 4. That is, of course, if I am using a 2-player setup with a 4-channel mixer with my in the middle mix preference. Now, if you're using a 2-channel mixer, of course, all you have to do, again, is just assign the right players, left and right, or 1 and 2. And that is, of course, self-explanatory. But you have to do this once so that it's already set up. So next time I plug in the mixer, everything will be remembered. And there you go. All right, so let's open a playlist. Let's go again to the recent playlist that I made right there. And let's go fix it. Okay, so again, if you load onto the left deck, I'm going to show you what happens in the player as we load. So right here again, before I go to the player, we loaded one song on the left deck. And let's move on to the left deck right here. Alright guys, we are here on the left deck. And of course, let's press record box to activate. Now, let's press the link function. You will have an option that says push to connect. Okay, so once you push that to connect and you scroll down, it will ask you which deck that you will be using the player with. Of course, my left deck is player 1. So this will now control the left deck. Okay, now as you can see, the whole interface changed. My playlist came out, and also the waveform of the song came out. Of course, everything has been analyzed, and right there you have all the functions again available to you again here on H.I.D mode. Now if I go and press play right there, as you can see, it's already playing, and here in the mixer the signal is already coming out properly, and here back in the UI it's actually playing. Now my jog mode is on vinyl, so if I actually go back and forth, let me switch back to the camera on the laptop, you can see that my back and forth motion while I'm holding the platter down is also reflected on the software. All right. Now, when I let go of the back and forth motion and the track lets you play, right there, I'm going to switch back again to the UI of the laptop. Again, it's playing. And of course, right there on the player, you can see also it's playing. So it's a mirror of my laptop. Now, let's go try and click on the second player. Let's make it control deck 2. Now, in this player, I'm actually going to load the song, the next song, into the playlist. All I do is I just choose my song by scrolling. When I finally find my song, I press play. And if you look at the laptop, which I'll show you now, and I looked here, it automatically loaded. Now, the moment I press play, I have now 2 decks playing right there simultaneously on the laptop, and of course also here on the 2 players. Okay, so how do I get out of H.I.D mode? For example, the next DJ is coming in. It's very simple. All I do is stop my last deck, right? And then all he has to do is come in with a USB, puts in right there, and then goes to USB, gets his song ready, and then mixes it in. I will be already out of the way for him to start his performance. So again, how do we stop it? I just press Q. Song will stop. If you look at the laptop, he puts in his USB and then presses the USB option, and I'm already out of the way of the DJ. So again, just to recap, that is the H.I.D mode. Again, we are using Pioneer DJ hardware and Pioneer DJ software. With Rekordbox, again, there is a performance feature where you have to actually subscribe for that feature, or it comes with hardware bought from them, meaning you can unlock this feature with hardware bought from them. So in this feature, we are able to use the laptop with the hardware. Cables that you will need again are 3 printer cables, USB-A to USB-B. Again, one will go straight to your mixer, while the other 2 will go straight to your players. Okay? Again, don't forget that you have to install the settings utility for the mixer for your audio routing. And of course, if you are running Windows, you will have to install the appropriate drivers for those utilities. Again, don't forget, you can actually load songs on your left and your right deck, of course using the tactile controls of your player while the laptop is hooked up. Think of HID mode as a more streamlined DVS mode. As with this setup, you don't have to bring out a interface box or a Serato audio box or a tractor box. And that is the next video that we will be filming in a while. Okay? So again, this is episode number 3, guys. I hope you are learning stuff on how I DJ and of course how you can also streamline your DJ workflow. Again, don't forget, we have a 4th episode coming up, and that's where I discuss the DVS system. DVS meaning digital vinyl system, that I'll also be using Rekordbox with. It also has a DVS system as well. I am a Rekordbox user and I want to maximize my software and of course how I DJ. So why am I showing you guys these options or these modes? Number 1, so that you can maximize your software. Number 2, so that you can actually DJ with no matter what is in front of you. Okay, so that's the 3rd video, guys. Again, please like the video. Please go and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit that bell notification for future videos that I will be putting together. Again, just to remind you guys, please follow me on social media, all social platforms at DJ Travis Monson. Okay, so that's the 3rd video, guys. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I will see you on the next. Manila, stay future-proof. Cheers.